Yeah. So yesterday we talked about different types of joins. What are some of the joins that we covered? You just name one. Faith. Which join did we talk about yesterday? Which type of join? We have Faith Nanjala. Faith, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Faith is not. Ross, Faith Nanjala. Faith Nanjala. Is Faith Nanjala and Faith Ndiga the same person? Are different people? I may need to get. There is Faith. Is it Faith Ndiga and also there's Faith Nanjala? I don't know whether they are same person, but okay. We talked about inner join. I'm seeing Ross typing there. This one is for the ladies. So Faith is not answering. Emily.
Left join.
Yeah, left join. So what did we say left join does, Emily?
It combines. Okay, it returns data from the left table, matching it to the other table.
So of course, with the left join, it will return everything that is in the left table. Of course, it tries to matches it with the ones in the right right table. But if there is no information matching one of the records in the left table, they are going to be returned just as null. And the same thing is true for the right table when you are reading from the right going to the left. So we talked about that. Of course, and I've also hinted at the other join that we talked about yesterday, which is what? Hillary. Hillary Umai.
Yes.
Which other join did we talk about? We mentioned inner join, we've talked about left join.
I think I left the class before the other one, but I think yes. I was watching the video.
You are watching the video.
Maybe,
And what did you find out?
okay. I didn't finish it, but maybe I don't know. Union, maybe. I'm just guessing.
You talked about union. Who should save? Derek, save Hillary.
Pardon the question.
Which other joins which other join did we look at? We mentioned
The,
two.
the right join.
Yeah, so we also tackled something on right join. Hillary, that is what we also did.
Okay.
Yeah. So today let's look at let's just look at me, but full outer. And again, something to note, of course, is this one that we use as join is just equivalent to inner join. So you could also just say, when writing your query, you could also just say maybe select everything. Now my shift key is not working, so that is a big problem. My shift key and my shift key and my control. I don't know. Maybe I need to change my keys. But now there is a big problem. Nonetheless, decide to, but this one wastes time. So on screen keyboard. Don't know whether you have a keyboard here. Let me just pick a keyboard and see if it's going to work. Yeah, instead of using on screen, because that is going to waste a lot of time. Yeah, connected. So, so we are saying select. No, that is not start. So select. Oh, what did you have to write? Oh, the inner join. Yeah. So select stuff from what? From maybe um, which table? From so select stuff from let me check which table we had and what I've not looked at that too. Yeah, okay. So we have from maybe student. This is what you are using. So you could say use school DB and yeah, even my control. I don't know. But that one will be sorted tomorrow. Okay. So use school DB. So maybe select stuff from student, and then we say inner join. Inner join. Inner join what? Enrollment. Enrollment E uh, on what? On S dot student ID on S dot oh was S dot student is it student ID underscore student ID equaling to E dot student underscore ID then terminate. Yeah. So this is just similar to what you were doing yesterday. So you could just write inner join, or you can just write join without the inner bit of it. I hope we get that clarification. They are similar. So inner join and the inner are just the same thing. Okay. Then we go to what? We go to maybe full outer join, which I have clarified that it might not be possible with MySQL. Possible with other variations of SQL like Postgre and SQL Server. Uh, so we could say, let us just try to write this similar thing and say full outer join. So select this, the control copy, and go here to come back and say instead of inner, just let us just start and say outer, full outer join. Yeah. So you're seeing it's already showing an error, but there is a function called full outer join, which is not possible with MySQL. I don't know whether there's somebody mwenye yake ina work that Let you try to run control enter. Yeah, it will tell you you have an error in your syntax. Is this the same thing all of us are experiencing? Yes? Yeah, Derek, I'm seeing Derek is also having the same. Nani yake inawaka? Yeah, which I believe shouldn't be, because of full outer join is not available in MySQL. Okay, and that leaves us with the other joins that we wanted to do. So when you get to a point where you'll be using maybe SQL Server and all those types of SQLs, you'll use it here. You'll use the full outer join. But probably you may wonder what a full outer join does. So what does a full outer join do before we dispense with it? Anybody to go? Yes? What does a full outer join do? Hillary?
Yes.
Okay, let me
Okay.
go.
Yes, Rickens?
Okay, so full after it retrieve data from the two tables. Zote kabisa.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so you are, it's a full outer join. So look at it this way. Yesterday, uh, when we were looking at left join, if we found that let me run one code here. So I don't know where we were running the codes for Nini, but it should be up here where we are talking about the joins. I don't know where it is. Let's see. I wanted to run a certain code so that you. Yes, Hillary.
Okay. There's some code I've written and it has done.
It has worked
But
full.
no, I've written full join.
Or you've written full join.
Yes.
Yeah, there's full
And
join.
then I didn't place the on. Like I just left it at select from student, full join, enrollment, and then just run the code.
Yeah, but there's full outer. Okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
even yeah, that is similar just to full join, because even this one which we are saying right join, you could call it right outer join. Also, even left join, you could call it left outer join. Yeah, but still, for me, I don't know. But MySQL, I doubt whether it has full join. Let me see if I can just search here and check. Does my okay? Does MySQL have support? There I'm seeing something. For example, support full outer join. So MySQL full outer join. MySQL does not explicitly support full outer join. Instead, we can achieve it by combining left join, a right join, and a union operator. Yeah. So you can use full outer join in SQL using the full outer join keyword. Yeah, that is maybe in SQL, but with the SQL server that I was mentioning to you people about. So while MySQL does not natively support full outer join, you can simulate it using combination. So ni kama you write an ini, do a left join after that, write a right join after that, then write a union functionality. Yeah, where now you're uniting the two tables. Yeah. So how has yours worked, Nani? You wrote the same thing like this one?
No, Yeah, the same, but there's no on. Like I removed on as
Yeah, of course,
students.
even with me, there's no full
The code after on, I deleted it.
the code after
The on. You see, full join
on the
enrollment
join.
end.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes,
Um,
and the on too.
let me see. Yeah, so that one, all of this full join. So this way.
Yeah, that's how I run it.
So that select from student as full join. Let me even check if I return that nini. Yeah, if it's not. Yeah, still you can see
Oh, okay.
there's this. Yeah, but I don't know how how yours has worked. Probably we need to investigate where you're coming from. So full join. This one it might not work. Yeah. So full join enrollment, blah blah.
Oh, I've seen the error. It has an error. So it has stacked the tables. Like it has joined them, but has stacked them table after table.
I should have wondered how yours worked, Mr. Hillary. Uh, yeah, because with MySQL hapa kidogo iko na mushkil. Yeah. Uh, so let's go back to what. But full join basically it returns all the information in all those tables. You could see, saa zingine when we are reading from left to right, if something was not having a matching case on this other side, we were deleting it, like it was not appearing. Yeah. For example, when I introduced, I was looking for where we wrote the codes. That's what I'm not seeing the joins. I don't know whether I did not save or deleted them, but I'm not seeing the joins. Codes are joining tables. Yeah, it seems like yesterday I did not save because we wrote quite a number of codes yesterday, but they are nowhere to be seen. Jamani. And even Nini, and even the codes that introduced, the new entries, so they're not here. So that's a big problem. So we'll just work with these ones. But full outer join returns all the information in those tables. So think of it as you are joining them regardless of whether they have a matching or not. So that if it doesn't have something that matches it on the other table, it is going to be returning null, null, null. Yeah, that concept. If we go to the next thing, which is more or less on, let's talk about what? Cross join. So we have what we call cross join. I'm looking for hash. There's a keyboard. Hash number 3. Okay, cross join. Yeah, my keyboard is misbehaving. So what do you also think a cross join does? Usually the last two can confuse people a little bit, but we manage. What do you think a cross join does? Anybody to try? Okay, yeah, but think of it as there's something that you studied in high school that is called Cartesian mapping. Is it Cartesian mapping? Yeah. I don't know whether you did it in high school or you did it in university, but there is just some sort of a Cartesian mapping or maybe Cartesian product. Yeah. What this means basically is that every think of it that every row in the first table, yeah, it should be every row in the first table is yeah, you combine it. So it's combined with every row in the second table. Let's try and see how it will come out, but so that you people understand. So I'll remove this one because it's inactive. Erratic. I don't like errors in my codes. Yeah. So Cartesian mapping stock a product, right? So in a cross join, every row in the first table is going to be combined with a row in the second table, with every row in the second table. So think of it that maybe we want to join what? Let's see. Courses and we can say courses and so select. So select. Let's first write select star. I'm slow now because I'm using a keyboard. Yeah. So select star from what? Maybe you want to see it from enrollment table. So select star from enrollment, which is E, and then you say cross join on. So what are we cross joining it on? Or maybe cross join. Just say cross join courses. Yeah, you could just say cross join courses. So let me see if it's running first before make any modification. So that is control enter. So what is happening here? So select stuff from enrollment. Let's see the number of pages that you have here. Now what happens is, if we are saying that every row in the first table is combined with every row in the second table. So come here, let's see the first table that we had. So we had enrollment, and also we had departments. So under enrollment, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have like 6. And then in departments, we have like, wait, not departments, courses, sorry. Under courses, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7. So how many rows have been returned here? Yeah, there is quite a lot. There are quite a lot. So you could say 4, 5, 6, course ID number 5. So information technology has been returned how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So it has been returned 7 times. So which means every possible row that we have in the enrollment table, kwanza imekuwa matched to course ya kwanza, which is do you have information technology? Why am I seeing different in it? Yeah, in information technology. This is course number 5. Yeah, in information technology, course number 5. So all of them first mapped to this. Then we go to the other rows again. We are mapping it to statistics. So expect again another 7. So statistics. We match it now to this statistics. We come away from that. We match all of them again to actuarial science. We match all of them again to environmental science, even until we get to the last one. So that is what we call a cross join. I don't know whether you've understood what has happened. So the first table that we had was enrollment student course mpaka enrollment date. This is the first table. Then we have the second table is here. So all the information, so 378, we'll also see it probably 7 times. If we have 7 courses, then we'll see 378 7 times. Because we are going to map it to statistics. 378 tutakuta tumei map to actuarial science, which is here. 378 again utakuta tumeimap to environmental science, you can see it here. 378 will also be mapped to commerce. So we are mapping everything on this side, we match it to another on this other side. Are we together first on that matching yenye tumefanya? Is there a question on that before? Are we together? If you haven't understood, thumbs down. I'm seeing thumbs up, but I'm not seeing thumbs down. Lucy, have you understood what we've done? Ross, Nanjala, Nathan, or Nathan will did any. Emily,
Nime- Nimeelewa.
Yes, Emily.
Nimeelewa. Iko sawa.
Okay. Mihaki, yeah, and I believe Hillary, Rickens. Okay. Yeah, so that is a cross. That is a cross join. So basically, what is it does is just matching. So in this case, you could say, we'll go ahead and just explain that regardless whether, so this is course ID, this is course name, this is student ID. Okay, even before that, let's try it again with the student table. So here you realize we are not adding ile mambo na, so enrollment, and then we are not adding on, and then we say on, wait, this one should be see. Actually, ukisha introduce on, you are seeing like kuna an error that is being highlighted. Then you say, so of course statement is complete. Let's try to see. On enrollment dot course ID course, we could just write it still. That is what I'm seeing. Underscore ID to be equaling to what? Courses, that is C dot course ID. Actually, I'm seeing it might work. Course ID. But let's just try Control Enter. Control Enter. Oh yeah. Let's see what is happening when we do that. Now here, what is happening if we do this courses on? So you want to join it on this and this. So what happens? Enrollment ID 300, course ID 303. Okay, yeah, so you can see the difference. So here, when we write it this way, what is going to be returned is we are matching course ID and course ID. 5 and 5, 11 and 11, 15, 15, 5, 5, right? 7, 7. So we are matching the course IDs. So hapa tuna, we are matching, we are only matching information that looks the same. So considering the course ID that we have, so we look at course ID on this other side here, enrollment, we match it to this other one, which is on this other side. So basically that is what is happening here. But when you just join it this way, let me even just leave those codes and come and select. It's good to be trying these things. So control copy, then I can push this one down. I can push this one and come here and say Control V, and then I remove this and just leave it as courses. Also, this one I could leave it this way. Then close this. Yeah, this way. So if we do it this way, we are going to match every row to every we are going to match every row in the first row with every row in the first table to every row in the second table. Yeah, but if we do it this way, we are just going to match them on the course ID. Actually, we are very specific here that course ID is equal to course ID. This is what you're going to have. So with cross join, what you could focus on is this one, right? So that if we run this, we have control plus enter, and then now you could see 456 is going to be matched according to the number of course contents that we have, course names, the industrial chem, Evo. Mission. I hope we are together on that. So that is cross join. Something else is what? Unless there's any question on cross join before I move to self join. Valentine Maura, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have self join here. What about self join? Maura, what we've covered is cross join. So you will review just these two. We've talked about cross join, which is and also we've also talked about inner join. Inner join is just the join that we did yesterday. So inner join is similar to writing inner join is similar to just saying join, only join peke yake. So don't be worried that we've gone. Yeah. So another thing that we talked about is full outer join, but full outer join is not supported on MySQL, not Boniface SQL. I mean MySQL, this thing that we are talking about as MySQL. So yeah, so what does self join do? Ross, what about self join? Come on. Derek? Oh, even before Derek. Yes, may have to. I'm not even getting you. Just sound.
Um, I am not familiar with it.
Okay. Who else? I'm seeing Faith typing something. Yes, Faith. You could call it self pollination. Totally. Um, So you are joining.
I'm not
Yes.
familiar with it.
Yeah, Esther, that is okay. You're going to get familiar with it in the next 2 minutes. Within the next 2 minutes, you will be opening.
I'm not
Wow.
familiar with it.
Okay, okay, Esther, we've gotten that. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah, self join. Basically, what it does is to join a table to itself. And what we are saying is, so joins a table to itself. So yeah, I'm gonna self pollination. Yeah, so this one, I could look at it and say, so what is it that we may want to join? So maybe we may want to join, yeah, for the purposes of demonstration. So what do we join? We may want to join student to student, right? Yeah. So even with this self join, one of the things that you could find here is we could find students who are even enrolled in the same course. Yeah. We could say, yeah. Let me put in this one. Yeah. It can help us to find the students that are enrolled in the same course. Yeah. So how do you write that, Nini? How do you write that code? Now, with self-join, it's a little bit complex, but let me see if I remember it. So first, of course, the first thing to do is maybe you may want to select student names. Just a minute. What is it that is here? Okay. So let's say we want to find the number of students who are enrolled in the same course. How are we going to get it? Okay, let's try to think of select star and see if it's going to work. If it doesn't, we are going to edit it. So select star, then from what? Uh, from student. No, but then there's enrollment. Okay, let's just try from student and not this one. You need to join it first with enrollment. Mhm. Any leads on how we are going to do this self join? So select staff from student, but we need to join student now and the enrollment. Hmm. Okay. Okay. so from student, and this one we could call it, because we want to join two tables, so we could say this one becomes S1, and then say join, join this similar one called student, and then we could call it S2. So from students, join student as one, and then say we want to join it on S1 dot. So what is the primary key on student? I think it was student ID. Student ID. Student ID equaling to S2 dot student ID. S2 dot student ID. Let me try. Let's first try this and see if it's working. So is it returning anything? Oh, I haven't run the code. So now that is can't create database data titans. Database exists. Can't create data titans. Oh, okay. Select this. Okay. 8 was returned. So what does it do? So this one has just returned Nathan Omai, Winnie Rose, Maria Lucy, Lewis Gatimu, Valentine. Actually, I wrote Valentine. Boniface data. Yeah, so this one has joined a table to itself. Actually, you can see. So this is the first thing. And then now we can try to think of the code to write here. So why have I written student S1, then student S2? This is because like we're using the same table, right? So we may want to say our first table now becomes S1. So that is S1. You could even call it ST1, ST2. So join student. So we are joining student to student. So we could call it from S1 and then go to join student S2, then on S1.student ID, S2.student ID. And then it returns to us a table that has been joined to itself. Are we together with that self join? Together on that self join. Nani hajaelewa what I've done, but I think this one should be simple. Are we together? Yeah, I'm seeing quite a number. Valentine, are you at par with what you've done there? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Oh, I think.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a self join. So select staff from student whatever, and then this one student is two. Somebody else that Lucy, are we together? Lucy, come on. Okay. So yeah. So that is that. I was trying to think of we could be asked to. There's a code that you could try to think of how to write, and that is if you want to find two students that are enrolled in. If two students are enrolled in the same course. So how is it? Mhm. Yeah, that can take me a while to think through. Right, I can write it and share the code, or just let me try to think if what I'm thinking is going to work. But it's going to confuse a little bit if it works. So control copy and then control V. So this first of all again understand that this is just the basic code for you to join this to join a table to itself. Now you can manipulate this thing and think about how about if you wanted to find, just thinking widely, how about if you wanted to find out if there are two students that are enrolled in the same course? So what is going to happen? So let me write from student S1. Now we are not using student S1. We are using, let's use enrollment, because we want to find out if students are enrolled. Enrollment, enrollment, enrollment dot. So this one becomes E, and what may we want to join? We may want to join. We want to join enrollment. So this one we could call it E1. And we want to join enrollment E2 on, so on. So how will we know if a student is yeah, so that one is going to be on the courses that they are enrolled in. So enrollment E1 dot course ID, course ID, we wrote it as underscore course ID is equaling to enrollment, that is E2 dot also course ID, course underscore ID. But can this reveal really? So student ID 104. Now this one needs, so this one will just join the table to the other table, but we might need to add something else here. What is that something else? Mm, okay, there's something that you might need to add here and say, and E1 dot course underscore ID. Yeah, this is just thinking about this, if it's going to work. E1 underscore course ID, control copy. Don't worry, if it works, we are going to be celebrating. Control B. So this one I want to say that it is not equaling to, and that is this functionality. So control enter. So E1 course ID, E1 dot course ID. Let me run this and see if it's working. If it doesn't work, I'm going to edit this code and just check. So what it's telling me is that there is no student, there are not two students enrolled in the same course. Okay. Unless enrollment ID, enrollment ID. Okay, let me go and look at this code and see if there's a way I can think about it, so that I don't also take time in trying to think about how we could get, if we can, how we could get students that are joined, or maybe students that are enrolled in the same course. Yeah, instead of taking time to think about it, unless I decide to add another nini, another list, another join also, which now I'm going to join, students. Mm, if I have another, maybe student S1 on, I want to join it to the courses, but let me go and think about this one. So I give you a code. This is something that should be possible. It's only that I'm thinking about it for the first time. But it should be possible for us to find out how how many students are enrolled in the same course. I'm going to work on that code and maybe share with you. It's either in the morning tomorrow, Ama, before I get to bed. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, yeah. So also as I do the same, also just try to think widely if you could get a way in which you may find the number of the students that are enrolled in the same course, but it will involve multiple joins. So it's going to join, you join maybe this, you're going to find yourself joining students again to this enrollment table and join another, write another join. So it's not going to just be one join. And you've also seen I'm introducing something called the and. Yeah, but let's go back to what we did. The simple code was just this, but this one is not telling us much. That's why I was trying to think, to let the mind go crazy a little bit. I should have looked at that earlier. Okay, yeah, so just maintain with this, and then now we could do manipulations around this other one, which is a little bit more complex. Unless there's any question on those joins that we've been looking at. So all that mental stress that I've been trying to go through, those are part of the things that you'll be going through when you are doing your SQL queries. So I don't think that it's always going to be a straightforward thing. You might be required to just think beyond normal thinking. So that's for sure. Any question? I want to talk about something called it's it's just going to be a discussion on something called the normalization and the denormalization, what it is. You'll probably hear about denormalizations and normalizations. Ross, do you have any question? Oh, I'm seeing Lucy.
I had one.
Yes, Lucy.
I had asked on the chat. Okay, when I've been doing on the joint, there's this one that has been popping up on my SQL, straight join. I was asking what it does. Yes.
Anybody who knows what a straight line does? Yes, because I've not interacted with it. So when you are typing S, ilikuwa inakuja something like, I don't know, there's also a time when I was typing something, then ilikuwa naiona, I've not even missed the name. But I haven't interacted with, let me see, straight. Ah, I haven't missed the name that was there. But I haven't interacted with, there's no such join that I've come across called straight join. So if it is there, it is not part of these things that we call joins. Because the joins that, okay, at least what I'm aware of, the joins that I know of are the four major ones. Those, the inner join, the outer joins, yeah. So the right, the left, the inner, there's the cross, there's the self, and also there's the full outer join that I'm aware of. That other one, I might need to research before I start saying things that are not there.
Yeah, okay. But I had tried seeing what it does,
Yes.
but I did not understand the results because it kept popping on.
What did it tell you that it does?
Okay, so when I ran it, it was I had run select all from enrollment E straight join course. And then it brought enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, enrollment date, course ID, course name. Oh, okay.
Are you presenting?
Yes.
Just let me. Uh, yes, yeah, present.
I've already presented. I hope you can see my screen.
I'm not seeing it, but I'm only seeing your picture. I don't know why. But on this other side, I'm seeing your
Mm.
picture. Oh, okay, now I'm seeing it. It's okay. It's okay. Uh-huh. Have you
Yeah,
opened
so
it? Uh,
it's there. I'd written like that.
yeah.
So when I run it,
And you run it.
I've run it. It has brought the results on the this side. So I wondered.
Hebu go down hapa chini nione kama it's successful. Scroll kwa mahali kuna kwa na errors. There's this.
Yeah, the action.
Yeah, huko chini. Oh, imefika mwisho.
Iko hapo mwisho. The last 12. Number 12.
Oh, okay.
You
Select
can.
from enrollment, straight join course. Okay. I haven't been. So this one, it looks like the cross join that we were doing.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's why I asked at first if it's
Okay.
working the same as doing.
Yeah, it says that it seems to me that it's working the same as cross join. But let me also investigate it. I mean, that was so fast time. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start presenting and maybe you can check straight join in SQL. Let me resume presenting. So we can just check. I hope I have taken over. Oh, okay. If people are able to see the screen. I mean, it's not possible. Okay. Share now. I think right now you're able to see the screen. So let's check straight join in. So when to use straight join? Okay. So straight join is similar to join, except that the left table is always read before the right table. So is it the same as left join? So because you're saying straight join is similar to join, which is similar to inner, except that the left table is always read before the right table. So is a straight join similar to, yeah, straight join versus inner join. So that is similar now versus left join is straight join similar to left join. Though Ashasema it's similar to join. It's similar to join except that the left table also is read. This can be used for those few cases for which the join optimizer processes the table in a subordinate manner, blah blah. What's the difference between left join and straight join? Yeah, you could investigate that and just find find the difference between the same. Okay. Yeah, that reading might take us time. once we get a conclusive answer, we could post it kwa nini. I'm seeing it here. We could post it kwa the group, the chat. Yeah, I'll also look at this one and also bring in a conclusive answer. If I'll kama nitashindwa, that will be too bad, but I should not be. Pray for me as I go to the battlefield. So we are to talk about something called denormalization. Is it normalization and denormalization? So it's 7:40 here. Normalization, and then there is what we call versus denormalization. So this is just looking at the structure of your tables and everything. So what do you think normalization is? What is normalization, Madam Wu? Madam Faith, you haven't spoken, but let me give chance to Valentine. Madam Valentine. And actually, even your anyway, just continue, Valentine.
Um, I think um, I can say it is maybe like the databases are
You're breaking. We aren't getting you.
And what of right now?
Yeah, still breaking, but okay, we'll just get used to it. But what you're saying, oh, even before that, Derek, what is normalization? Yes.
Uh, it's like arranging data in like a specific structure.
So what is this specific structure we're talking about? Yeah, but normalization and denormalization, you no, there's that noise. Okay. Yeah, but normalization basically we're talking about the structures of the database structure in terms of how your tables are structured, in terms of how information within the tables are structured. In most cases, you'll find that you don't want to insert too many information on, so if it's a department's table, you could see we maintained it to maybe vitu kama ngani, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you find maybe yourself, you have a table where you have like 10 rows, not really 10 rows, you have 10 columns or 15, 10 or 15 columns in one table in SQL. Yeah, it could make, one of the issues could be there is redundant data in that nini, redundant data in that table. And even in structure wise, like it's really not appealing. Yeah, not appealing to have 15 columns in just one table. So that's why in most cases the aim is always to try and reduce what? Reduce the size of the the size of the tables. But again, you want to find a balance between reducing it too much and making it also now don't make sense. Because if you want to reduce it to a point where you have just one column in one table, it also beats the sense. So there's a balance that you want to check between normalization and denormalization. But let's look at the example of the school database that we created. Sometimes you could find yourself that all the information that we had here, so for example, we had a table called enrollment. We had a table called enrollment. We also had a table called student. And also we had a table called, actually, let me just join it and say select all. So we say select star, select all and say from what? Students, and then say join. We say join what? Join enrollment E on join enrollment E on what? I like writing them in capitals. So join enrollment E on S dot student ID. Yeah, so today I'm a little bit slow because I'm using a keyboard. My keyboard shift is not working. So that one will require me to change it tomorrow. S dot student ID dot then E dot student underscore ID. Then we say, we'll also say join. Can we also join another thing? Join what? Courses C on C dot course ID underscore is equaling to E dot course ID. E dot course underscore ID. Then we could terminate this and say, what do you mean? 0 rows returned. What have I done? Join E1. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was pressing my control and I didn't realize that it's also not working. So look at this. So imagine that you have all this information in one table. So this is like an information that you have in one table. So one of the things that normalization understands is if you have a long table like this, there are chances that you have redundant data. And one of the redundant data that you're looking at is the student ID here. Whether or not it's student ID, maybe you could name something else. Maybe named something like student. And then you see the information that is contained on this side is also similar to the one that is contained on this other one. And then you look at another redundancy that happens is we have course ID here, and the same information that is contained under this course ID is contained under this course ID. So this table has not been normalized. So think of it that you had a table like this. So you want to do what you call normalization, right? So normalization tells you that look at the table, identify information that might be redundant, um, or even before identifying that, the key thing is break down this table into more tables, right? Into other tables. So if you break down this table venye iko hivi, we are going to have like, we call it 3F, because we are going to break it down into table 1 and table 2, table 3. Just understand that we had enrollment, we had student, and we had courses. So we are going to break it down into three tables. Then now we have what you call a 3F. So in terms of normalization, we have normalized it into, yeah, you call it 3F, or the third step, or the third stage of the third normal form. Sorry, no, not 3F. Sorry, 3NF, which is called the third normal form. So there could be a first normal form, there could be a second normal form, and then you could have a third normal form. Yeah, I think that it should be making sense that way, unless, yeah, that way it should be making sense that way. Unless breaking down it into those ones should be the first normal form. Let me check if I'm confusing the two. Um, huh. Yeah, actually, it should be the first normal form. And yeah, under first normal form, what happens is every table usually have a unique row, and each field, yeah, every table has a unique row. So, for example, if we look at table enrollment, what is the unique thing? What is the unique row? You could think of it as a primary key. So kama hii enrollment ID was our primary key. If you go to courses, the unique row here was the course ID. If you go to students, if you go to students, the unique row, so we have the student ID. So this 102 is unique to this. Nathan Omai 103 is unique to this. Yeah. So when we break down this big table into those three tables, then we are going to achieve what we call the first normal form. So you call it a first normal form. But for you to understand what a first normal form is, so this is first. Yeah, I was confusing it with something else. So first normal form. So under first normal form, which you'll find yourself writing it this way. Shift imeamua kufanya tena 1F. Yeah. So one first. So this one is first, N normal, then F is form. So these are things that you just have them at the back of your mind, that you don't want to have a table that contains redundant information, right? Yeah, it's not. This one is not about writing code. That's why there's too much talking instead of instead of writing codes. Now, the other thing that I could explain now is we have broken down. So we have come from this old table and broken it down into. Um, so we break it down into what? We break it down into these individual tables. Then something else that we are going to do is, if you check student table, you can a student ID. If you check courses table, you can a course ID. But if you come to enrollment table, we have course ID and then student ID, which means that we have linked, or we can actually link enrollment table to courses and link it to students, right? So the enrollment table is linking the students and courses, which again basically ensures that the same student can be enrolled in multiple courses, right? Yeah. So the kind of relationship that we could have when a student can be enrolled in multiple courses, now we have the many to many relationships. You could even find relationships like one to many, one to one, yeah, where one entry in this side can only be equivalent to one entry on the other side. But in this case, we could have a student that is enrolled in multiple courses. We could have a student maybe just enrolled in one course, what happens in university is a student can be enrolled in there are people that were pursuing 2 degrees at the same time, right? But it's on very rare occasions. Yeah, a student can be enrolled in multiple courses. So in that case, you have more or less like is it a one-to-many relationship? Uh, yeah, sindio? Is it one to many or many to many? So one course can be one student can enroll to multiple courses, and even one course can be enrolled into by many students, not just one student. Yeah, so that is a many to many relationship. So when we get to a point where we are linking enrollment table to courses table, and we are linking enrollment to even this student table, now we have achieved another level of normalization. So that bit of even linking it, wakati tulikuwa tunafanya that, we are also doing something that we call normalization. And in most cases, it's now that is the third normal, if not the second, but I think it's the third normal form of normalization. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about it, but if you find it a little bit challenging, I can also maybe share with you even some contents that talk about that. But it's always just why wakati una create your database, you want to ensure that you don't have repetitive information in one table. And I've given that example with this table. So I've just linked it TV so that you think of it as this is one old table. And then now from this, if somebody has created such a table, then you might need to normalize it. Normalize it by doing what? Break it down into more tables, multiple tables, multiple tables. Is it making sense? It might require you to digest it a little bit, but I hope the brief makes sense. If it does, if it doesn't, thumbs down. If it does, it could do a thumbs up. But these are things that you need to have at the back of your mind when creating a table. We together? Yeah, I'm seeing. Yeah. Something else. Yeah. Thank you. Something else that maybe I need to just touch on. Most of you, of course, performed the assignment that we gave. Of course, performed well. Let me say so. It wasn't too complex for you people to handle. But so I might not need to revise everything. I've just picked an assignment that was done. I don't know by who. This one, SQL assignment. And there's only one place that I want to ask a question, or even not even that. Let me pick your nani. Let me pick your. I'm seeing here ameifanya. Here ameifanya. Let me pick your somebody called. Let me pick this one called Ricans. I don't know whether Ricans was writing questions, but let me see. So rearrange the table by ordering the points. Select the. So there was a question that was asking you to select 5 worst customers with small points, right? If you do this, select 5 worst customers with small points. So if you do this, let me see, Control Enter. Yeah, of course, you have limited it to 5. Yeah, but yeah, by default, when you do when you don't when you do a sorting or maybe ordering, by default huwa in order by ascending. But one thing that I wanted to see was you write for me this thing, yeah, ascending. You don't leave it that by default in a bakingi hivyo. Of course, by default, SQL or MySQL orders nini by ascending. So if you wanted to order it by descending, you could do the desk, right? But hapa nilikuwa nataka kuona ascending. So once you order them by ascending, right? Just to know that, just for me to confirm that you understand what is happening at this point. When you order them by ascending, itaanza na zile kidogo goes nini, and then now you can introduce limit 5. Yeah. So with this limit 5, you want to just select the first 5 people who have the worst points. And then there was also another thing here. I'll scroll it to renaming a column. There was a place where there was a question on renaming a column. And then when it got, yeah, of course, Nani did it, alter table, store.customers, change. Yeah, there's something that we did not talk about. You could also use change to rename a column, but you cannot use change to rename a table. Change is only used to rename it. Actually, in the previous versions of SQL or MySQL, this was the only one that was being used to change columns until maybe version yenye tuli download ya 8.0. I think since the around 20, was it 2020 hapo, is when the rename function was brought. Initially ilikuwa tu ni change when you want to update a column. Yeah, nonetheless, if you want to change, to write that you need to rename a column, you use this change. But there's someone, not really someone, multiple people, when for them to rename that column, you are using for me alias, the AS, not to nini, but just to pick, not to shame anyone, but just to pick, I saw it in multiple people. I'll start with this one. Select phone numbers. So when renaming a column, you use rename functionality, not select phone numbers as, yeah, rename phone column as phone numbers and points column as total points. Yeah, so this one, you could see select phone as, but this is not what we want, right? So we want you to write it as rename column, and yeah, sorry, rename column. So you, of course, you start with alter table. So you want to mention the table that you are altering. So alter table, then we call it customers. So I could say store.customers because I'm still in school DB. Store.customers, and then say rename column phone. It was phone as, you have this phone numbers, and then there's not supposed to be an as, sorry, but you could also check rename column. Then there's rename column. Another one that you are writing was points was supposed to be renamed. Do we say rename to or rename as? Was supposed to be renamed, so renamed to total points instead of writing select phone as phone numbers and then from customers. This one is just going to temporarily show you what SchoolDB doesn't exist. Yeah, so I could use here, maybe state here use. And then there's another discussion I want us to have. It's 8:04. So use store. So I could say use store and then write all those things. Anyway, you can correct this one in Isote. There's also another thing here that I wanted us to check. Here, this question. Of course kila mtu was writing something different. So you can see here nani ameandika aje, then you come on this side Dickens ameandika nini, and I was mentioning those things. Oh, Dickens ameandika similar, but I want somebody else mwenye aliandika different. I want somebody mwenye aliandika that thing to different. Actually, even this person also alitumia select phone numbers as whatever, which is not correct. Huyu aliandika is equaling to. I want somebody else. Let me see a lady. Is Emilia Liam. Just to find. Oh yeah, Emilia also wrote this. Okay, but then the question was return number of customers with oldest birth date being 1991-0101. So how do you do it? Kuna wale walikuwa wanaandika so is greater than or equaling to 1991 0101, which is correct. But there are some people that writes the oldest birthday. Kuna wale wenye walikuwa wanaandika is less than or equaling to. So this one is greater than or equaling to. Wengine walikuwa wanaandika is less than or equaling to. Yeah, which was wrong. So this one was the correct one. I was just trying to see if kuna wale ambao wameandika vitu zao. Yeah, kuna wale ambao wameandika their things. So that is don't save. That is yes, Nathan. I'm seeing you're worried. Let me see what you wrote. Lucy Kamau, the oldest birth date. Let's think of it. With the oldest birth date being 1990. Oldest birth date. Yeah. The oldest birth date. Yeah, it's okay. Right? Lucy, what do you think? Can you interpret that statement? I want to see what Nathan wrote. I'm seeing Lucy, you are also worried. So how should it be? So Lucy, Nathan naona aliandika hii. This is less than or equaling to oldest birth date. Yeah. What is the interpretation? Because naona hapa nani ameandika 1991. So how do you treat the oldest birth date? So if mtu ako 1991 and then there's somebody mwenye ni 1980, which one is the oldest birth date? Kuna mtu amezaliwa 1980 na kuna mtu amezaliwa 1990. Which one is the oldest birth date? Lucy. Lucy.
Yes, I think personally I thought the oldest birth date
Yeah.
meant like person who is older. I don't know how I interpret it. Like he's older than all of them. So that's why I used less than. But thinking about it, like the person who is 19, I'm not sure who is older. I'm still confused.
Valentine Maura, how do you interpret that statement? You pia ni kama inachanganya kidogo eh?
Kwangu pia ilichanganya, but coming to think of it, I think if the oldest person was that date, then all the others should be after 1991 and not before.
Yeah, because ukisema kuna 1991 na kuna mwenye amezaliwa 2024. Which one is the oldest birth date? Si mtu wa 1991 ndo the oldest birth date. Yeah. So that is now no matter like greater than or equaling to was the correct answer and not this one. Yeah. So that those are some of the clarifications. Nathan, you've realized that anyway. What else? I think the others people performed just fine. There's nothing to, including the not nulls. Yes, Valentine.
For me, I had a question. There was this question that you were asking about. Is it the average? Yes, there was a question you were asking average. And when I was calculating, my averages were zilikuwa zinakata namba moja. They were only bringing 2 digits. They were only displaying 2 digits inakata the other number that needs to be
So,
there.
for example, this one. Let me run this one. That huyu jamaa aliandika. Let me go to store and run this one. So ilikuwa inakata nini?
It was not displaying all the numbers. Maybe if you can go to my document.
Where is the select average? Copy average. Select distinct. Wapi mali ulifanya average?
It is on question. Oh, sorry, it is not average. It is question F. This one yenye tulikuwa tuna multiply points by 20%.
This
Question
one.
F. Yes.
Si wewe kwanza uli multiply by 0.02 while you're supposed to multiply by 0.2. 20% divided by 100 ni ngapi? Eh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 0.2.
Unaona the mistake? This one is not supposed to be 0.02, it's supposed to be 0.2. Now go and rectify and check if it's the nini is persisting. Then you can inform me, right?
Okay.